here we go, is on page Lamed Dalet.
Right.
Yeah. So he said, Yisbor Shevapen is Galuch Adalet Alofim Shehem B'chotem. Hine Ba'ozen Achotem. Let's see where I'm going to start. I'm sorry. I'll start in the column. 1 second. So he said, V'hi Ba'ozen Achotem Lo Choya Rak Shtei B'chinun Shel Or. In the nose, there were only two aspects of the light. V'hi B'penim V'makifim. About Kam B'peh, and something different. Nekfalo HaB'chinus. How's that? Kevin Shoris a per shorsham in a ozen vahotim. Limsa sheyesh beper kol bechinas oros shala ozen vahotim. Limsa sheyesh beper arba oros. Shehem shnei oros ozenayim hayotzach me'ozen yamein and me'ozen small. Shnei oros achotim beyotzim bechotim yamein and bechotim small. V'chem nikbach oros a per shtaim shehem arba. So what do you need 4 of these? What are the 4? He says, because now we see that there's there's differentiation. So the lies themselves are doubled. Also, there's Chadesh Inyan the Keilim. This is where we see first the Inyan of the Keilim. Voven shebaoras haper yesh shtei bechinos shteim bechinos or bechinos kli. Vosem shtei bechinos mischalkos kol echad the shnaim. So each one of those are going to be divided into 2. The oras mischalokin the shnei oros shehem penim yamakif. V'hakli mischazik the mischalik. Excuse me. The shnei Keilim. Penimius hakli, which is the inside of the kli, v'chitzonis hakli, v'harish shtaim shem arba. To say that Yitziyasi is born of Olam Bez Hashem, so I'm going to talk about it more later.
So let me just ask a question.
Sure.
So this means that it's the same that's coming from the oizen and chaitim into the mouth?
That's what he said. He said that, yeah. He says it's the same It's a cheluk of the same light. It was always the same light. Maybe it's always the same, but it's revealed here in a different way. Because as you go down, it gets more thick, and then you could see it differently. So that's part of this idea, I think.
Meaning, I guess my question is, It's not like that the mouth creates a new set of Keilim and Oros, and then the previous passes through the of the mouth. It's really the same one, just being revealed differently.
I think that's not so far off. That's pretty close. It's I think let's read on and see how he says it. So these 4 things is actually where you remember we talked about the different kinds of alephs. So he says hadal alofim anal. He says shechoy bechotim, they were in the nose. Or over v'nimshach. So this is kind of like the answer to what you're saying. V'nehu penimis adam hazeh. So it keeps going down to the same light. But now it's going out from the mouth. So he says, Arba bechinas and iskaros, shehem or penimiv or makif, kli penimiv kli chitzon, hamisgalos beper that are revealed in the mouth. Gilui ha'arba alofim shehoya ba'ozen v'chotim. This is the same alofim that were there to begin with. In ozen, it was a part of a hay. And over in the nose, you see the vav clearly, but not the dalet. So they were. It was there all along, and coming from that hay that was up above. Ki mina ozen v'chotim yatzoch ha'arba alofim shehem shnei alofim in the form of yud vav yud, v'shnei alofim in the form of yud vav dalet. The Keilim shahor shenizgala ba'ozen v'bechotin over derek penimius ak v'nizgala v'yatza the mitzocha peh. So in other words, it's continuing to go downwards. Kenizker the el shapeh ein lo or mishalo. That's interesting because it's an aspect of malchus. We have the concept of malchus peh. So shapeh ein lo or mishalo elo hu megala es oras ha'ozen v'chotin, but rather it receives or it reveals rather the lights that were in the nose and the ear to begin with.
So here he's clearly saying that.
Yes. right?
Okay.
So Haladov Shabachotin is Galabapeh. So what was in the Ozen and the note and the Chotem is now revealed more in the Peh V'Lochalon. Behemshech HaPerak Mevar Horav Heich Mischalkim HaArba Halon V'Bebechinis Oros V'Keilim. Now he's going to start talking about some details about where they're at, how they work, and let's see what he says. Which is the form of Yud Vav Yud. Him Panimia Makif. So they're Oros. So they're Panimia Makif. Vishnei Olofim, which is in the front of Yud Vav Daled. Later we say that the letter Daled is the fourth. Just a remez. I'm throwing this in. Is just that the letter Daled refers to Dallas, like poor poverty, which is Lashon Nuk, which is female aspect. So therefore this one is going to be a Kli. So Shesiura Yud Vav Daled Heim Shtei Bechinos HaKeilim. One, what are the two bechinos? One is a panimi, one's a chito. This boyer la'el sachaviki os alav efsha lekos v'chabetzura yuvi v'chafilu lekos v'chabetzura yuvad yud vav daod v'kaven shatzuras yud vav yud ola the minion 26 nimsakihi gavoha. So because this is the name of Hashem, the gematria of that. Uma'ula yosef betzura yud vav daod, which is sha'ola takaf belvad. It's only 20. It's at 20, it's not 21, it's not 22, which would either be the name Ekya or would be the letters, but it's a kaf. So I just wonder about that. But Olofim that says the Yud Vav Dal Beramazim all the aspects of the Keilim. So he says there's a tableau apparently in the back of this volume that will show you this. So which I refer you to it if you want to see it, but we're going to keep moving on over here.
You know which one it is?
No, I actually didn't look for it. Most of the time I don't use those, but they are helpful. You want to look at it? We could go back there.
I'm just looking. Look quickly. Kudim Tabla 1. I'm guessing it's that one.
Well, here the Chotem on page. They don't have any page numbers here. Olam and the Kudos. So we're going to do that one. Pad the Ak. We haven't got that far yet. So on page, they don't have any page numbers.
I think I see it. It says on the top, Shar Kudim Perak Aleph Tabla 1.
Shar Kudim, let me see what we got here. Well, it's going to say that. I don't know which one it is. Shar Kudim, Perak Aleph, Tavla 1. That's the one you want to talk about? So the Ozen is, so he shows you there the lights that are there.
So the Ozen, so he has the by next to the two, he has the alephs, those 4 boxes on the side of the Ozen and Chaim. And he has Aleph, and then he has Yud Vav Yud on the top 2, and then Yud Vav Dal on the bottom 2.
There you go. That's it.
Okay,
so that'll give you an idea of where we're at. Now, let me see if I can find my way back. Back to where we were. Where were we? I didn't make a good mark. We're in
page Lamed Hey. Page Lamed Dalad.
Oh, wait, you're back here. Okay, Lamed Dalad.
No, Lamed Hey. We're on Lamed Hey.
Lamed Hey. We're on Lamed Hey.
We just finished Yud Zion.
Okay, thank you. So let me get us back over here where I could see this. There it is. Okay. So he said, "Ve'elu hadala bechinos heim atzban bechinos beis aznaim beis nikve hachotem sheniz gala hakan bepeh kimina ozen yamin nimshach or v'yotza derek peh besod or makif v'chotem yamin." Now we're going down to the nose. Nimshacha or v'yotza derek peh or panimi. That's interesting. The right sides are light. Min ozen small. Now moving over to the left ear, and now we're going to go to the left side. Nimshach v'na'asa b'chinas kitzonis hakli b'chutz lepad. Now we mentioned also that the kitzonis of the kli is going to be the stronger part. Did we say that before or not?
Yeah, I think you said that.
Okay. U'mechotem small nimshach v'na'asa p'nimis hakli. So he says, Arba bechinas in iskara shal or makif or panimi, V'kitzoni sakli b'nima sakli. Heim atzben shtei bechinos ozen yamin v'ozen small. There are these two different parts. He said v'shtei bechinos shalachotim nekev yamin v'nekev small. Nekev small. Period. V'atacha b'chodaka b'vacha v'derek his galos arbecha bechinos holado b'socha peh. Shahaor sheyored ma'ozen yamin v'yatza derek peh. It's going to wind up coming out. It comes from the right ear and it goes out from the mouth. Hu or makiv. So it's an idea of what a makif. A makif is really outside to begin with. Kimisad yamin yotzim ma'oros kamosh in his bar, because from the right side of the ozen and the right side of the chotin you can see the lights. Peina or sheyared machotim yamin v'yotze derek apeh hu or penimi. V'or chanimshach ma'ozen small from the left ear hu chitzonis hakli hu mash mishamish kli l'or hamakif. The machotim small, yotze penimi sakli, and then this is the part by mishamish kli, which works as a kli or penimi. So you have a match between the oros and the Keilim, kind of slightly different names for them. We have
so there's really two Keilim, and then an it's like a sandwich. There's an makif on the outside, then a kli chitzoni, then a kli penimi, and then an penimi.
Now let me see if I understood you right. You say there's an makif, right? And the makif is going to shine on or connect to the chitzonis of the kli. Is that what you said?
Right.
Because the same thing could be the other way around. Okay, let's go on. So these things are all, these elements, these Keilim and Oros are now in the mouth. That's interesting. He says because dibor peh, right? So dibor is lashon nuk also. So the hevel is really aspect of the light. So he said, Ad kan mevor harava b'chinas sheyatzim b'toch ak. So now we're talking about lights coming out of ak. V'atem mevor harav she'eluch ha'oros niknesuch b'soch peh de ak. V'nizgalu sham b'chulokim d'dala b'chinas sheyesh b'peh atzmo. Da sheyesh shtei b'chinas shehem hevel v'dibor. Now there's two different categories here that we're now going to be able to distinguish. V'hahevel hu b'chinas gavoho v'zoho. The hevel is a higher level, so it's very less substance. V'zocho she esher the chasiku kol kakamo hadiber, which is much less substantial than speech. Shahar hadiber yotze derek chamesh motzo sepeh. Now, have we discussed it, or is he going to bring this in? We have discussed it, I know. There are 5 different levels of sound that come out of different organs of your mouth. And it's those 5 are divided furthermore into letters. So therefore it's possible to distinguish or to really to see, understand the dibur. Then according to that, there's a light that doesn't divide it up. But it's hidden. It's inside of it. And as a result of that, it's higher. That's what it means, more panimi to the dibur. And you can't see it in its state that its normal state. Or, and therefore it's considered to be light in relationship to dibur. That is these breaths or these airs that are coming out. Mislavshim, he says they're mislavish bedibur. Mispartim the osios, and let me see if we get this right. Mispartim the osios v'oz nitan the chasigam, and as you start to see more distinction in here, then you can actually reach them. So now you have hevel and dibur in the upper cheek. Let's say the upper part of your mouth, of the mouth. V'hevel b'dibur b'tachton v'lechia tachton. Nimsega hevel le'elyon hu or makif v'chatachton hu or penimi is an or penimi. So he said v'dibur le'elyon kli chitzon v'chatachton is the kli penimi. V'atem b'var harav. So Rab is explaining that now. Second. V'ata mevor harab prati hacholukos shel habechida b'sel chapeh. V'hu ki bechinas hahevel v'chadiva mischalkin ba'ofen sheyesh hevel v'dibur b'lechi ha'elyon. There's hevel and dibur in the upper cheek. V'hevel v'dibur b'lechi ha'tachton. V'havavolem only b'tzad yamim shall hapeh. V'chinas dibur only b'tzad small shall hapeh. V'hacholuka hikach. He says, Oras mekifim heim b'lechayim elyonim. Shadaim lo nizgala b'chem b'chalach hapeh atzma. But you still cannot see them. They're at the very top. They're sort of like going to appear. Behind the shehevel shehu b'lechi ha'elyon, hu or makif. He who or gvoho v'zach. It's the nature of that. V'oras ha'penimim shegavar yarav nizgala b'soch hapeh mamish hainu. That is shehevel shehu b'lechi ha'tachton. Who oras ha'penimim sheyored al toch hapeh mamish kenizger, which has gone down into the mouth, mamish, just like we're saying. V'lagabe bechinas ha'kelim shehem chitzonius ha'kli. So let's talk about them. Where's the chitzonius ha'kli? Upenimius ha'kli. Hachaluch is like this. Ha'kli ha'chitzon shehu yoser gavoa, which is on a higher level. Shaharehu mishamesh es or amakif, because it has to be correspond to the or amakif. Yotzes min dibor ha'elyon shehu b'lechi ha'elyon is going to come out of the upper cheek. So chazach hatachton shehu b'lechi hatachton hu kalapi penimi. It's going to be from the penimi ki ha'kli penimi mishamesh es or penimi shehu medrega tachtonu yozema or hamakif. He finishes this
Can I
up.
ask a question?
Yeah.
He didn't say anything so far, at least in this piece, about right side and left side.
I think that was supposed to be in there. That's why I was looking for that too. Let's see.
But that, it means that he would mean right, like right ear, right nose would go to the right side of the mouth. Is that right?
So let's go back. Let's go backwards a little bit, and let's find this place here. The first word on the line in the first column will be sheyored al toch hapeh mamish kenizkar. Then it says v'lagabe bechinas ha'kelim shem yitzonis ha'kli v'pnimius ha'kli. Hachaluka is like this. Now, what did he say? He said that previously. Okay, he said the lights are on the right side and the left side. This is also on the right side and the left side. V'chakli hachitzon shuhu yoser gavoa, which is a higher level, shaharechim b'shamish as ha'or ha'makiv. Yotzim min ha'dibur ha'elyon shuhu b'lechi ha'elyon must be on the left side of the lechi ha'elyon. V'chadibur ha'tachton shuhu b'lechi ha'tachton hu kalapi penimi ki ha'kli ha'penimi mishamish as ha'or ha'penimi medrega tachtona, which is the lowest level, yosim ha'or ha'makiv. Now, let's see if that's right or how it works. So the lights, which really refer to the Havalim, Hem biyam in the peh. He says it now. I thought I saw this. The lights, which are the Havalim, omdim biyam in the peh. So you have up and down. You have the top part and the bottom part of the lechi. Ki gavarn is boyer. We've already said. Shaha'oras yotzim miyamin, the lights come out of the right side. V'chadiburim shehem bechinas Keilim, heim omdim b'smol hapeh. Keilim yotzim b'olam b'smolo, that's the general idea, and he's going to say that the base kibble, the concept of a base kibble, in this early stage, what we're learning about, is on the left side. V'seidim edrigasim eschalak v'fi lechia elyon, so what they're going to divide is depending on what's in the upper cheek. V'lechia tachton k'mavor, and also the lower cheek, like we said. So now we're going to go to a new place, and that was the end of Perek Aleph. So the plot will continue to thicken. So it says Perek Base. I'll read the blurb. In the back of this Sefer, he does not use these little intros like this, which is common. I guess he just didn't get to it, because it's not in the back. It's not in the later Sharim. So it says, so that's right. Well, it's always a work in progress here. There's going to be a new volume of this coming out soon, probably. And so we've explained here that the Dalet Levavim come out of the mouth. Dalet Halavim, so he said, Dalet Halavim, Dalet Havalim, V'harem is the Zeh. Nasa, so he says, Yisbor shebepen na'asach hadalet alafim, they make the 4 alafim into dalet havalim, So what is he talking about here? So let's go over to number Aleph. Number Aleph says, we talked about that. We had first in Shartanta, Perik base. So they're in the Chotim, so they come into the mouth. And when they get there, they make themselves into 4 havolim. If you take the gematria hevel, which is 37, he'll be gematria kamach. So what's that? Kamach. Because through teeth, it actually grinds them up, but it means to say chops them up, so to speak. And it makes flour out of them. And they can, from there, it is the finish or of what they have to do, or they're making of them being made. Let's see what.
And when he says flour, he means like it's all one big mush together. It's not like you can't see any more the individuality of the different areas of where the lights are coming from.
I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. I don't recall seeing this lately. So let me see what he says now.
Okay.
Arbas alofim b'shesh shnayim bechem heim b'tzuras yud vav yud, b'shnayim bechem shehem b'tzuras yud vav dalad, shenisgala yudera b'tzuras osios by combining the lights that come from the ears and from the nose, lo nisgala the gamri ela behelim. Ba'achshav kashehem nisgala b'toch hapeh, but now that you see them in the mouth, na'asim bechem arba chavalim mamash, it makes 4 different kinds of hevel. V'arba b'pamim hevel comes to the gematria of Kemach. So this is a little hint over here that he's giving us in this gematria. So he said the minion Kemach. V'ha'inyan hu ki dalad halovim nimsoim b'peh kashehem nitchamim ayidach shinayim. So as we speak, well, he's going to talk about that in other places. I don't know if it's here. When he talks about nitchanim, they're ground up through the teeth, shebepeh. So that's a quote from what he said. So what is he talking about? There's a shefa on this apparently. So now he brings us a hagdama that we need to know this. He says, Operation is galo orasa ozav v'achoyta b'peh v'nischapa b'chinas Keilim. Now he's going to start talking about the different levels of the lights in the Keilim. Haina eza or ma'ula mazukach yoser yoser or mazukach yoser or hamakif or panimi. So which is it? V'chein b'kelim ma ma'ula yoser. What's the higher quality? Panimi is hakli or chitzoni is hakli. V'indach kafishin is boyer adko. So of course what we've learned up to this point. Namsinan lamdim she'or ha'ozen godol yoser me'or ha'chotim. V'chein sad yamim yoser godol is also godol me'ula mitzad small. V'david pashut hu she'ha'or shehem or chazaka yoser me'ulim min Keilim shehem or ha'av. So with some more refined light. And v'tam zecha b'yatza ha'oros mitzad yamim v'chakelim mitzad small. El Rav Baal Ladun Ba'or Atzmo. He wants to talk about the light itself. V'chein b'kli Atzmo mi Ma'ula Yoser, which part is the highest level. I'm not sure what he means yet. Uvalimud Zeh Yesh Yesodus Gedolus Malhu or Panimi Umalhu or Makif. V'chein Mahusim Shal the Keilim, also the form of the Keilim Panimi Yusuf V'chitzini So now we're going to come over here. So, and explain the words of Rab. Now he did say there's a shefa over here. Mostly I don't go into the shefa because the shefa is a little bit higher look at it. It argues with it a little bit. I don't know if you want to look at it or not. I didn't ahead of time. So, okay, so let's go on. I like to go on. So don't ask this question. Masha kasab the ki min or ozen small nickness repair. So he said, let's not work with this. Min nekev chotim small, and from the left nostril. A little bit more room here. Chotim small. Naas panimi sakli. Ki af al pi she'or hamakiv godol me'or hapnimi, even though this is a higher level of life, im kol zera pnimis hakli hu godol mekitzonis hakli. The pnimis of the kli is going to be bigger than the kitzonis ganira b'chol sharos, which you can see. Say, for example, look at a jug. Masha ein came bebechinis oros. Ki ha'or ha'godol shelo yuchol lahakli lahagvilo, that the kli can't handle it, v'lakabla b'socho. Yishar b'chutz b'sod or makif. That's the name of the makif. Vor hamoed yishar b'fnim. It'll remain inside. Masha ein came b'Keilim, which is not the case by the Keilim. V'im came mibechinas ha'ozen ha'alyon ha'yihi ha'chitzonis ha'kli. So why should it be the outside of the kli? V'minachotim shuhu yotzer tachton yihi ha'penimis ha'kli. So I have the feeling, like he said, like the kemach that he's talking about, everything goes into sort of like a mixture of a certain part. So he wants to try to straighten it out. The Matzah wants to straighten it out. The Lechora, I think it's who, I don't know, Makom the Hakshos, לפי המבואר בפרק הקודם, שאור אוזן שמאל שהוא מעולו יוסף מן החותם שנסגל בפה נעשה ממנו חיצוני הכלי. ולאור החותם שהוא פחוס במעלה, which is less quality, שנסגל בפה נעשה ממנו פנימיוס הכלי. So if you had to ask which is the most important part of a jug, you would say the inside, because the inside is going to hold whatever goes into it. So he said, but he's saying like this, שנסגל בפה נעשה ממנו פנימיוס הכלי. Ve'ele ba'alma anu roim b'chush. I was going to explain. Harosab shepenimius hakli hu ma'ula yoser, which is really we would think was more quality part. Kifi hanira the fish rov v'kelim kol yishal cheres, because in those days most of them were made out of clay. Ubekli cheres penimius hakli ma'uved. Lolo pigimos. I guess it's made in such a way that it should be smooth. Vesritos or scratches in it. Masha eng b'tzad hachitzon. You don't care about the hachitzon so much. Shalakli she'enu kol kacholok. It's not so smooth. L'fi zecha v'choyu lohotzi penimius hakli ba'oris hayotze mina ozen. So therefore, the penimius of the kli, which would be the highest quality of the kli, should be made out of the highest level, which is the ozen. When it winds up being revealed in the mouth. 1 second, let me just bring this over here. So that for sure it's going to be the higher quality. It can't get into the kli, it's too big for the kli. Masha Ein came or Benimi, Enu Godel called Kach, there was not such a tremendously powerful light. V'yochol hitstam same besocha kli, it could squeeze in there. The sasan socha kli, v'lechein shafir yatzacha oras and shekushim izgalim b'peh. So therefore, the lights which are revealed in the mouth, yatza or hamakim or ozen should become from, and it comes from the right ear. Of or penimi minachotim, who's going to come from the nose. Of all the gabi Keilim, but when you talk about the Keilim again, hoyulo the penimius hakli shuhu ma'ula yoser, which would be a higher level, that says mina ozen to come out from the ear. That's the way it should be. Lefi hanis boyer, as we explained, yatsa kitzonis hakli mina ozen, that the kitzonis hakli comes out of the ozen. Now, I'm not sure if I said that over good. Did you really understand what I said there?
I mean, it sounds like he's asking the question that if the better. I mean, I'm just very generalizing.
Yeah.
But it sounds like the question is, if the better things come from the ear and the worst things come from the nose, because the nose is a lower level than the ear, then all of the better things, which is the Makif and the Kli Pnimi, which are the two, like the best of the I guess the best of the and the best of the Keilim, which are the Makif of the and the Pnimi of the Keli, should be coming
matched.
from the ears.
They should be matched. Right.
They should be matched, right. But instead, it's the opposite.
Okay, good. No, that's great. Thank you. Okay, number Gimel. He said, don't forget that. So he says it's all the same line. So what does it mean by that? Makdim Rav Levar Muchus Inyan Ores Vakelim. V'hudi Hine Kolim Sheniz Galsecha Bechinis Kelim. Hoya Kola Ores Omdim Bedrega Achas B'Shava, everything was the same. But now you're going to see it, so that it could be actually reached. Let's say that we're reaching it through our prayers. Let's say. That's our kavanah. He said, Ba'osa Shah, whom is Chalik the Shnayim. At that moment, it's divided into two, as you could start to see it or to reach it. So he says, Or sheyesh b'chabel ha'koch lihitztamsiv v'lihikoned lihislavish b'toka kli, zecha or nikra or panimi. Velecha or ha'godol, but the greater life, ha'ma'ulim machmas godol zukuso, e efshir l'chasigo v'ein koch b'kli l'kablo, the kli has no ability to be able to receive that light. V'lechein, and the niknas b'socha kli, so therefore it doesn't go into the kli, v'nishar chofei v'sovev mezchut l'chi v'hon nikra or makiv. So by the oros, I don't think we have a kasha. Or panimi who mayor bebifnim a kli. So let's say like this. So you have light inside of the kli, and he says it shines from the inside of the kli. Or adchetzi doifen a kli mitzad panimius adofen. So just imagine the wall of a jug, and the inside of the wall there's going to be a light inside of that jug. Call it whatever you want, and it's able to penetrate into the wall of that jug to half of the mitzad to the half of the wall, the inside half of the wall. So then he says, "V'ha'or makif hu meir mebechutz hakli v'oiver al chetz doifen hakli mitzad hakitzon yusos," and it goes through that till it reaches the outside part of the kli. V'yidei shnei oros elu, and through these two oros, meir hakli mizdakech, that the kli shines and becomes refined. Hine echad ha'to'alios sheyesh bezecha be'ezeh sheha'oros niknasim mitzlavshe betocha Keilim. So one of the things we get out of this, she'al yedei sheha'oros niknasim me'irim b'kli mizdakim ha'kli, when they're inside of the kli which is more gross, is more, what's the right word, it's more thick. So as a result of that, the light that's inside of it is going to refine it and make it less thick. Now, this is the part that I always wonder about. What exactly you're getting out of this? What does this do? And because they're coming from two different sides, it's possible for the or panimi and the or makif to come together and be together.
Meaning in general, they wouldn't work to collide or be together.
I don't know. That's not what he said, really. He said, let's go from Hine. He said, Echem b'ha'toelios, sheyesh b'zecha sheha'oros niknasim b'mitzlavshe b'tocha Keilim. Yes.
I asked you to tell me how much we spent with Frank Rapperidge. I haven't gotten that.
I don't know who Frank Rapperidge is.
He's the lawyer that I'm having go against Stevens. You paid Frank Rapperidge. Or his company, but look up his name.
I don't think he's in the checkbook. He's going to be probably a batch payment or another kind of payment.
Going to be what? Either
a batch payment or another kind of payment. So we're going to have to go back to the bank. Okay, anyway, in the middle of a limit. Okay, going back again. I'm sorry for the interruption. Echad me'atoelios sheyesh b'zecha sheha'oros niknasim mitzlavshe betocha Keilim hu sheha'al yedei sheha'oros niknasim me'irim b'Keilim is daking ma'Keilim. It makes the Keilim more refined, more transparent. Ba'al yedei zecha v'yuchlu or hamakiv or panimi lihis ached yachdav. They're going to come and meet. V'heich na'asa inyan zeh. So how does it come about? Al zecha mevarach harav. From this, the Rav explains like this: sheha'or ha'panimi v'chanizkar, that the light, the interior light that we mention here, mispashe de meir as gufa kli, it spreads, it shines into the body of the kli atzman ad chetzi ovir shaladofen a kli mitzad benimi. V'hor hamakiv al omed b'chutz, and now it's outside. Meir as etzim dofen a kli, it's also shining into that same kli, but the wall is ad chetzi ovir shaladofen a kli mitzad chutz. So through these three lights, One is the makiv and one is the penimi. So what I was saying is that I thought that the direction of this idea was that things are becoming thicker. Here, he says that what's happening is that the light is refining the kli that's being made over here. Now, try to figure out what am I getting out of it, making them more refined, which making them more transparent, or making the two lights come together more. So what do you get out of that? The pashut who shematras kinesis or betocha kli. So the purpose of this, who gam b'kedei l'zakel chasakli atzmo, you're going to change the kli itself into something more refined. Akadayim yishacha b'chinas kli, but nonetheless, it will not become so refined that it's not going to be there anymore. You're going to still have the aspect of the kli. And so not that you should izake it until it becomes completely and totally misvatel. So
it's like it becomes like, instead of like a ceramic keli, it's like glass or something.
Yeah. Yeah, so he's answering my question, which I think was left over from the last time I learned this he added a little bit something on there so I shouldn't feel so bad like we're trying to destroy the kli, which we're just trying to make. So he says,
right.
But he wants us to know that because of the lights that are impacting it, the kli is more refined. So again, what is the toelios of this? So it comes like this, it has to be like that the outside is shining because of the or makiv. Never passes through, never shines inside of the kli. Machashin is bar shekitzonis aklim is dakek yidech she'or hamakev meir bo. Yesh l'chshush kevin she'or hamakev hu godol ma'od v'yesh herkak v'hefresh v'hevdel godol beinu l'bein hagitzonis aklim l'mesiv v'zu lo ya'aver v'oros ha'aros or makev yivla b'chetzi dofen kitzonis shalakli. I'm not sure I've really followed what I was reading. I have to read it again, if you don't mind. I'm sorry, you probably understood it. But he says, "Ma'achashin is bar shekitzonis aklim is dakef yideis she'or hamakev meirbo." He says, "Yevish l'achshasa were worried. Came in she'or hamakev who godol ma'od so powerful. Yesh herchek v'hefresh v'hevdel godol bein to the bein kitzonis aklim." So there's, I guess, the qualities of the two are, I don't know, very different. So it doesn't, or maki, he says, become swallowed up.
It sounded like before he was trying to say that the point is that to get some of the light into the keli, into like the wool of the keli, to make it more zaka. But then he's saying that maybe the Or HaMakif is so powerful that it will just go away from it completely in the other direction.
Okay, that's possible. That sounds good. So let's see. But whatever reason, it doesn't go into the keli. That's what I thought he was going to answer. So he went slightly different. So Hachaim, chutzrak shepenimis hakli hagarua, yishtav or penim hagarua o meirim zeh bezeh. V'chein chitzonis hakli ha'ma'ula yoser. Bo or makiv ma'ula. So in that one, you're going to see, on that one, I guess, you're going to have the or makiv, which is a higher level. So we have makiv and chitzon, and panimi. She'im lo kain, koya nisha chitzonis akli, believe shum ha'ara, if not, the chitzonis wouldn't have any light. What does that mean? Al zechem mevorach rav shalachein chutzrak shechitzonis akli, yimshak b'makom ne'ela ma'od shuhu ha'ozen. So it should have that shaychus. They're both coming from the high level.
So they're like a pier now. The inside of the keli is a pier to the Or HaMakif on the outside, so they're trying to connect with each other through the kli hachitzain.
Yeah, well, that's probably true, but I don't think that's what he said here. Did he say that here? So should be made out of the same kind of material or the same level. Mimakom ne'ela ma'od shehu ha'ozen, like from the ear. Kadei sheyihya lo eze shaychos ela or hamakiv, so that it has something to do with the or hamakiv because they're coming from ear level. So I guess hoya or moed ad shelo hoya meir bo klal. So it would be a little light, it wouldn't shine in it at all. V'zeh yutoretz, and he says like this: "Says lama yatsa chitzoni sakli min ha'ozen l'mros sheba'alma anu roim shehi pechusa b'pnimius sakli." I'm really getting lost here. I'm really not sure what he's saying. He said, I'll read it one more time if you don't mind. I'm really sorry. Azech mevor harav shelakach chutzrach chitzoni sakli yimshak b'makom ne'ela ma'od shehu ha'ozen. No problem up to here. Kadesh yihi alo eze shaychus ela or hamakiv, because they're coming from the ozen level. Ve'ilu yatsa v'nimshach b'makom namoch, but if it would have come out of a lower place, hainu min achotim, from the nose, hoya or moed, it would be a much less light, achelo hoya meir bo klal, until it's like it was shining at all. It wouldn't shine at all. Uvazeh yuturat, so though this is the answer, lama yatsa chitzonis akli mina ozen limros, besides the fact sheba alma on the roin he pechusach bepenimisakli, even though we understand if we're looking at the kli itself, we're always understanding that the kli, the outside of the kli, is going to be the lower aspect, and looking at it physically. Now that didn't really make a lot of sense to me. Uvazeh yuturitz, what was the question? Lama yatsa kitzonis akli mina ozen. Why does that part come out of the ozen, despite the fact that we already see this, what he's saying, anu roim shehi pechusach mepnimis akli, that it's the more coarse part, it's not the real refined part. So this is how they match up. But he's still working on that question. I think he rewrote this a little bit. Agam yesh siva acheres v'hi karova alanis. Because there's another reason. It's similar to what we said previously. He says v'hu ki hine or hamaki v'hashko v'cheptso v'hidabekim or panimi. So this is a very interesting idea. It says that these two different types of light, they want each other. V'lechein im chetzi dofen shal kli mitzad hakitzon lo hoyes zak yoser. So therefore, if this is the reason, if it wasn't more refined, lo hoya over bo or hamakif, the or hamakif would never be able to get to it at all. V'hoya or benimi chaser milakabel or hamakif. So he's saying the fact that they meet each other allows them to exchange ha'ara, at least some kind of a light between them. V'yesh od tam hasheni karav el nisker, which is similar to what we mentioned up above. Ak locha mitzad the Keilim, not besides of the say Keilim, ela mitzad the oros. Pirish hakeven shal ha'or hamakiv hanimsach b'chutz l'kli, rotza the hidavek ima or ha'penibe hanimsach b'toch l'kli. Now this is an interesting thing because it's also opposites, like males and females. He's creating that idea, is that they have a mutual attraction because they're only half. So if it would have come, the kitzonis of the kli would have come from the nose, let's say. Which would be a lesser level. It would be thicker, it would be more physical. And it would not allow the light to come through as or or panimi. It would not be able to get inside of the or panimi.
So, can I just say something?
Yeah.
The first answer was, at least it sounded to me like he was saying that the chitzon of the kli needs to be of higher level material in order for it to be connected to the makif that we're trying to use to light it up and to be mizdakechet.
Yes.
Now he's saying that just for the purpose of the two ARIs, I guess, getting together,
that's the
center
purpose
of the scali, so to speak.
Right.
It needs to be. I mean, it's like kind of similar, no?
So this was the question I had before: is that what's the toelis of being mizdakech the kli? So he said, and he answered, and he said that it doesn't become completely mizdakech; it doesn't disappear. Right. But the reason is because there has to be some barrier in some way that keeps the two from totally, completely coming back into one It's the idea, this is the male-female idea of trying to get close together, wanting to, because they're halves, but being so different that they can't quite completely come together either, or they do, but then again, it's not. It's like they do and they don't.
Right.
kind of deal. Okay, well, I think that's the shir then today. That's we got into a new area,
okay.
and I'll try to be better prepared next time. And
wow, that was tough. Thank you.
Yeah, it's different, going different directions here. Okay, all the best.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Rabbi.